All of this put together is currently doing around like $1 million or so in revenue a month. Now, if someone is in a first world, even third world country and you have a phone, I'm very confident it is extremely possible to make hundreds to thousands of dollars a month.
He's not lying, guys. My little brother, 15-year-old kid, he went and did a channel about GTA and now he has 150,000 subscribers and he makes $1,500 a month. Just because he listened to you talking about this.
I think a lot of people look at me in a different way because I'm younger, they want to help me out. But on the other side, I think a lot of people disregard me because I'm younger. They don't see me as much of an authority. And that also makes it so I have to work 2-3 times harder than anybody else. The only thing you can't buy is time. Elon Musk cannot buy my time. Jeff Bezos cannot buy the time that I have because it's the only thing that starts and ends. It's you're 1, you're 2, you're 18, you're 30, you're 40. So I know for a fact I have honestly the most priceless thing in the world right now, and that's time. I think staying at school would not have made me as successful as I am now, not only because I wouldn't have had the same time, but I think leaving school put the thing in my head that I need to burn the boats. So if I had school right now, I would feel like I have a backup plan. And I'm not telling people to drop out of school because I honestly think looking back, what I did was pretty stupid.
How much money you have, generally? Who are you?
My name is Daniel Bitton and I'm 17. I'm a 17-year-old entrepreneur.
What do you mean, 17-year-old entrepreneur?
I run software companies, YouTube channels, and a brand.
What do you mean? Explain us.
All right. So I run a software company.
We're friends, guys. He's an amazing kid. But I want to understand, first of all, what he's doing, because the stuff that you are doing is complicated to understand, even for me, that I'm in the social media space. So try to make it simple for a stupid guy like me.
Yeah. So firstly, I'll go over the software company. It's a business around helping people make videos easier. So we use AI and just basic fundamentals like video editing to make the process of making videos a lot easier. It's called Creo. And we started it in around February of 2024. And so far we've scaled it to over 1 million users in like 6 to 7 months. And all of which are people who make videos on a daily basis for TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and they use our platform to make those videos almost instantly.
Okay, and you are a partner in Creo.
Yeah, okay. So I'm one of the founders. We have a few founders under the company, and I'm one of those, a part of the team.
Okay, just to summarize, so you creators like me, YouTubers, they use these platforms to make clips from their live streams, from their podcast, and make them easier, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we help you do the text really easily, the music, the animations, everything that it takes to put a video together, to post it on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. That's what Creo makes easy for you to be able to do. So it helps creators, and it also helps people who don't want to show their face as well, faceless content.
And what do you do for that company exactly? Because you build the software, you write code.
No, I don't write code. We have a very talented developer, Aleem, who writes code. What I do is I help market and build the systems for marketing for the entire company alongside Musa, who's the co-founder as well. So what we do is we make videos to promote the software. We hire people to make videos to promote the software. And we basically build these systems out so that the software can continue to make money, continue to grow, and also make it better. We give advice on the new things that we want added and everything that it takes on the front end. The back end is sorted by the developer and everything, but to promote it and to make it better, that's where me and Musa come in.
Okay, that's interesting. First of all, we did another podcast in the past, it was 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, and you were the Snapchat kid. Back then, you were making how much? $100,000 a month?
Over $100,000 a month in profit at that time,
On just Snapchat shows.
Snapchat.
And now you completely stopped Snapchat?
Yeah, pretty much completely stopped Snapchat. So what happened was originally on the first podcast I went on ever, I talked about how I scaled Snapchat with my partner to over $500,000 a month in revenue. And we did that for months and months and months. But what happened towards the end of last year is that Snapchat died down very fast and very quickly. And now it was up to me to figure out how I was going to move on to the next thing.
So you stopped making money completely with Snapchat?
Yeah, pretty much almost instantly because our videos got banned. We stopped being able to scale because they wouldn't let us make new channels. And it was just a mix of so many of these different problems. And in my head, I was like, I dropped out of high school for this. So am I just going to stop now, stop Snapchat and go back to school? Or am I going to figure out something else? So that's when I started YouTube Shorts, which are 30 to 40-second videos on YouTube. And you don't have to show your face. You can make videos like people do on TikTok. You can pretty much do the same thing on YouTube. And they're starting to pay a lot of money. So I did that. After that, I kind of met my partners for Creo, which is the software company. We started that up, scaled it very, very fast. And alongside all of that,
in a couple of months, right?
A couple of months, yeah. I mean, we went from zero to like 300,000 a month in 3 months. And now we're consistently doing around 500 to 700,000 a month. And talking software here, there's very high margins. So you could only imagine like how much we're profiting.
17 and he used the term talking software now. I love this guy. By the way, I want to come to the conversation later as well.
Yeah.
Decision of leaving school and now you 17-year-old and like having teachers that they are completely clueless in business, teaching you about business and all this stuff, and you're making all this money. We're going to come to all these conversations later. And how is it to be 17 and like you having a personal brand, traveling by yourself and doing meetings and all this stuff, which is very interesting. But so continue what you were saying about the Snapchat and the transition. And now,
So after the software company, still running the software company, I decided to double down on my brand as well, because I think one of the most valuable assets anybody can have is their personal brand. You can leverage it in so many ways. I mean, if someone knows who you are and they like you, they'll buy anything from you. And you just want to be a person that puts yourself out there, gives value to people, and no harm can come from that at the end of the day. So I
except from people in the streets annoying you all day. But apart from that, by the way, it comes with the job anyway. Continue.
But yeah, so I just kind of made the decision in my head to go all in on my brand, because if you think about it, there is no other 16, 17-year-old making as much money as I am,
you
running
think
the type of
around
business
the
I
world
am.
there is no one in your age self-made making more?
Not in the same businesses that I'm doing, not in the same way I have.
Not in the social media business.
I don't think so, no. And the reason for that is simply because I've been doing this since I was 12 years old. And I think now I'm starting to see people that are 15 making like $2,000, $3,000 a day, and I'm like, okay, this is like how I was when I was 15. And I think when I'm like 19 or 20, there's going to be 17-year-olds doing like $4, $5, $10 million a month.
Yes.
The opportunities are
and
endless.
This is stuff that we are going to discuss. What is the future of education in this 2024, 2025 and all this stuff?
Yeah.
Is school useful anyways?
Yeah.
We're going to come to all this stuff. But how is it to be, okay, we explain kind of what you are doing with Creo. Also, you are, as I understand, you have a stake of your 4 partners and you have 25%.
Yeah, so we all have
company.
we all have like a percentage of the company. And apart from Creo, I basically also run the brand, YouTube Shorts channels, and then also
your brand, you mean?
Yeah, obviously my brand and YouTube Shorts channels. And all of this put together is currently doing around like $1 million or so in revenue, a bit less, a bit more, depending on the month.
A
month.
You personally?
No, all these companies together,
okay.
Around $1 million a month in revenue, less or more depending on the month. And then the goal is to just scale. Scale.
So when we were talking, what is the goal with Creo is to sell the company, the software company?
Any company that has an opportunity like Creo has, you always want a nice exit at the end of the day. But I wouldn't be opposed to us just making a lot of money with the company and keeping the money. You never know what's going to happen. Creo could be worth $100, $200 million in 5-10 years. Or if we stick to it, it could be worth $1 billion. So I don't have a number in my mind that I'd sell for. The goal is just to go with the flow. Just want to see what happens. Just work every day, and whatever opportunity comes, then we respond.
So the co-founders that you found, it's on your age?
No, so I'm the youngest in the company. Next, it's an 18-year-old, Aleem. 21-year-old Musa, and then 20-year-old Arab, yeah.
So the 21 years old is the oldest person. Yeah. And it's a company that worth millions.
I think now Creo, based on how much money we're doing, could be valued anywhere from like 20 to 45 million dollars. Yeah.
So your stake is
I don't
around
want to talk about the stake.
$5 million. Yeah.
I don't want to
Wow.
talk about the percentages.
You don't want to talk about the percentage. Okay. How do you manage all this stuff when you are 17? Like is your mom telling you what to do?
No, I don't really have anyone telling me what to do. I think after I made the decision to drop out of high school, all of the responsibility came on me because I decided to take the risk. I'm the one who decided to potentially ruin my future. So every decision I've made, whether it's in business, traveling, all of that, it's now up to me to decide. Obviously, I have my parents helping me like on the back end, everything with my companies and stuff because I'm still not 18 yet. So I can't really have full control of a company and all those types of things. But
So your parents needs to sign
yeah,
stuff for
exactly.
you. Wow.
So
Do you feel okay with all this stuff? They are just, okay, mom signed this and they signed this.
Of course, bro, I trust my parents.
No, I mean,
completely.
they trust you completely. They put their signatures
course, bro.
without them knowing exactly what you do.
Well, sometimes I fill them in, sometimes I don't. It depends on the situation. But I'd say I'm pretty independent for a 17-year-old.
What independent means to you?
I travel alone. I book my flights. I stay at hotels alone. Just everything that someone would do in their 20s, 30s, 40s as an entrepreneur, I do now. That's simply just because
So you travel by yourself?
Yeah. Yeah, I travel by myself.
No friends or always with friends?
No, not really. Usually with friends. I usually meet people when I go and travel. So like, let's say a few weeks ago, we actually just had a trip to Turkey, a cryo trip. And so I went and traveled there. We all met up there, stayed 10 days. Then I came back home.
Which your home is?
Cyprus. Yeah.
We're not in Cyprus, ladies and gentlemen. We're both from Cyprus. Cyprus it's not a very big country.
Yeah, it's not.
It's only 1 million population for those of you that doesn't know, but we love it.
I think also a lot of people are surprised by the fact that I did this also coming from Cyprus. Like I was born in Cyprus, raised in Cyprus. My mom was basically in Cyprus and she was a baby. So like a lot of people in Cyprus or in any small countries like this, they don't usually have the opportunities to see bigger, what's possible, what you can actually do in your life. But I was always online since I was really small.
So online made this possible.
100%.
But why the other kids? All the kids are online. What do you think you had different?
Listen, I think since I was younger...
I'm listening, bro. Don't worry.
Since I was younger, I've always just had something in my head. I don't know what it was. It's not some like weird cliche story. I just always like I would play Fortnite when I was younger and I would think, okay, how am I going to become the best at this game? How am I going to become the best at anything I tried, whether it was small or big? And I stumbled across a designing tutorial on YouTube when I was 12 years old. And then it made me want to be a designer. So I learned Photoshop, I downloaded Twitter, I got myself immersed in social media space. And through designing and through video editing, I started getting clients and clients started paying me money. So obviously, as I wanted to be the best at everything, when I saw that I could make a little bit of money, I wanted to be the best at making money now. And so that's where it progressed from editing to making my own videos to running my own companies. And so it just happened to start when I was 12 years old, which is why my timeline is so accelerated. Like people usually might get to this when they're 24, 25, but I think it happened by the time I was 16, 17, just because I was doing it since I was 12. I think I definitely can agree to the fact that me being born in the 2000s, in the late 2000s, when technology is getting so insane, I definitely have an advantage over someone that was born in the 80s, 70s. I don't think they would have been able to do the same things at the same age. But now, for example, if you were my age or even at 24, 25, if someone is in a first world, even third world country, to be very honest with you, and you have a phone or you have a laptop, I'm very confident that it is extremely possible to make hundreds to thousands of dollars a month. Like I know it as a fact.
By YouTube Shorts?
By any business model you want. I personally recommend YouTube Shorts. It's what I've had success with, but there is no one size fits all. That's not how it works. But me personally,
I love this guy.
Me personally, I think YouTube Shorts is just the way to go. It's easy.
You are a
simple.
guru on YouTube Shorts, right? You have a course.
I have a program. I have an education company around YouTube Shorts. It's been released for like a month or two, and there's people from third world countries. That's why I previously mentioned third world countries from India doing over like $1,000 a day now. So that's why I'm so convicted that it's possible. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't believe it, but I see it and it's possible.
Well, we need to, first of all, how does anyone go viral? And explain us overall, like how is 2024? Explain us YouTube, social media in general, because you have a very I'm a YouTuber, guys, but there is so many ways to go viral. And he is been successful in like clipping and explain us this.
Yeah.
It's a new wave now with streamers and all this stuff that I kind of understand, but not really. So
listen, there's, like you said, many different ways to go viral. You can go viral yourself, or you can be behind the camera and go viral. So the way I've gone viral most of the time until now is behind the camera. And what that means is by taking clips or using other people that are viral to my advantage. So when I run, for example, YouTube Shorts pages, I ran a page back in 2022 called Slam Dunk. It was a page that surrounded other viral people like Mr. Beast, Dude Perfect, iShowSpeed. And whenever they would do something viral or interesting, we'd make a video around what they did. And so I don't need to be an interesting person. I can be whoever I want because I'm behind the camera. I just used and leveraged Mr. Beast's name, iShowSpeed's name, these people's names to my advantage to get views and make me money.
So an example for it's like, iShowSpeed is going to jail because of this and this and this. Listen to find out what happened. And then you narrate a story of like what actually happened.
That was one of the examples of the channels that I've run for YouTube Shorts. But nowadays, there's many different ways. There's different trends that come and go. There's satisfying content that people like. I've seen people scooping up snowballs off the floor and getting millions of views. I think going viral is such an interesting topic because there is no blueprint to going viral. There are so many different ways to do it because there are so many different people interested in thousands of topics, which is why I also say in my videos in general, a lot of people, when they try to go viral, they try to see what they're not interested in and what's big on social media, and they get attached to it and then they quit after 2 months because they're not interested. Everything I go into, whether it's YouTube Shorts, whether it's my brand, whether it's any topic of conversation I talk about, it's always something I'm interested in because I know if I work on what I love, it will last a long time. And so you can go viral doing what you love. Like some people love talking about airplanes. And I know people who run channels around airplanes that get millions of views. And that's what they love doing every day. So there is no one answer. You have to pick what you love, pick what you enjoy, go into that field on YouTube, on these types of platforms. YouTube's better. And there we go. That's how you make your income. And that's how you make it for a long time because you'll be able to last for 6-12 months.
Yes. Doing something that you love. But first of all, you need to understand what you love. So you need to try a couple of things. You need to be aware. Self-awareness is a big thing on social media as well. Like,
yeah.
So, but he's not lying, guys. He was, me, you, and another friend of mine had a conversation. My little brother, 15-year-old kid, or 16, how old he is, he listened to the conversation and he went and did a channel about GTA. And now he has 150,000 subscribers and he makes $1,500 a month. And he's fucking 16. Just because he listened to you and our other friend talking about this.
100%.
So it's like, it's not a joke.
It isn't a joke. And it's actually real life. I know for the past few years, people have been saying things on podcasts, online, and a lot of people don't believe it. But I think nowadays, especially, you should take what you're listening on these types of episodes or online in general, and just instead of just listening and then moving on, try to adapt it for just 1 month. Try to integrate the knowledge you heard for just 1 month. And I promise almost everyone will see results simply because it's possible. I'm not special, bro. We come from the same country with 1 million people. If anyone has the least odds versus the Americans, the Canadians, the people in the bigger countries, it's us. And we still make it happen just because we stick to it and we just grind every single day. That's all it comes down to.
So go back a bit and explain how this people are blowing up now with clips, and explain this clip
Yeah.
word.
So clipping
Listen, guys, open your ears.
Clipping is when you take another person's piece of content and put it on your own pages. And people have taken advantage of clipping to blow themselves up. So now there are streamers like iShowSpeed, Kai Cenat, and all these different types of people that are using little creators, aka clippers, to take pieces of their streams, put it on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram, and in return, these get tons of views because they're interesting videos. Like, for example, if iShowSpeed is jumping over a car, which he did recently, thousands and thousands of people took this video of him jumping over a car, reposted it onto their accounts, and went very viral. This made them money, but it also made iShowSpeed a lot of money because it brought back a ton of eyes towards his brand. And that's the essence of clipping. Businesses are also using clipping to show off their products. It's not just creators and streamers that use clipping. For example, I had a friend who owns a chocolate company, and what he did was he got thousands and thousands or hundreds of thousands of creators, I don't know the exact number, to make videos around his product. And so people are doing this in e-commerce. People are doing this in the space like I am. For example, getting people to clip up this podcast or getting people to take pieces of my content and repurpose it. Clipping is just the effect of you taking someone else's video, putting it on your page, and getting views for it and getting paid.
Well, guys, imagine this podcast will get a couple of thousand, tens of thousands of views, or hopefully, hundreds of thousands. I'm joking. But these clips that you're going to make, or these shorts, they're going to get millions of views because there is going to be 10, 20, 30 people that are going to cut 100, 200 clips. And something that we said, something about you, how you make money, and all this stuff will be interesting. And this will leverage your brand. And also they will see my face as well. And it's as a creator, you don't really actually want to monetize all this stuff. You just want your face out there. And then you're going to get stuff in return. They're going to ask, who is this guy? Who is the podcaster? And the next time that they're going to see your face in the podcast, in the homepage of YouTube, you are going to, maybe they click more likely.
Yeah. And the life of a video now is worth a lot more than it used to be because, like you said, if this podcast gets 10, 100,000 views, that is nothing compared to what this is going to get reclipped into. So sitting down here, people sitting down and making videos, you could honestly estimate that what you're doing is worth 10, 20 times what you thought it was going to do, simply because people can now clip these clips up, put them up on platforms, and just bring so many eyes to the videos.
So the live streams, you think, is the hot way to do things?
I mean,
24.
I wouldn't live stream personally. I know people who do live stream. That's how they make money. And 100%, if you want to be a live streamer, the way to make money with that is by live streaming, doing interesting things in your streams, and then getting clippers to go in, get those interesting parts, and repurpose them onto these other short form platforms.
And getting clippers, explain to the people how you can get clippers, because that's the money question.
Listen, right now getting clippers is extremely hard. There is no one way to find clippers to work on your content. So what a lot of streamers and channels have had to do is put up on Twitter or their Instagram looking for clippers, DM me, etc. So what we're actually doing now under Creo is we've made a solution to this, which we're going to be releasing within the next few months. And what it's going to be is the first actual platform that connects clippers and streamers. So let's say you're a streamer, you put up a listing on our platform saying, I'm looking for clippers and I'll pay you $1 per 1,000 views, just as an example. A clipper can now accept that listing, click yes, get connected to our website and our software, connect their accounts. And now instead of these streamers having to manually pay everybody out, we'll be able to track how many views you get, and then the streamer will just automatically pay you out through our software. So it's going to be the solution to the problem everyone has, which is getting access to these hundreds and thousands of people that want to make videos for you and get paid.
Yeah. So you are trying to solve a problem with Creo. So Creo will expand to any social media stuff.
It's not going to be called Creo. It's going to be under Creo, but called a different company. But yeah, we're going to solve the problem of clipping because I know it's a very big issue. We've talked to some of the biggest streamers in the world about it, and we're crafting this product around solving that issue for them. And I think it's going to do very well in the industry.
But it's interesting. We were talking the other day about this. But sometimes, for example, when I am doing political, I'm a politician. So, like, you don't want anyone to clip anything and make you look bad.
100%.
So it's you need to find the right people. You need to have
We've
kind of a
added measures.
control.
We're adding measures for that specific reason. This is also a reason I don't have clippers and a lot of other people don't have clippers. And it's because you don't control the narrative when you don't have clippers. Sometimes clippers' jobs is just to get the most views.
Yes.
So they'll cut up videos in a way that you didn't say it. Out of context. They'll lie simply to get more views. And so that's the reason a lot of people really haven't taken advantage of the affiliate clipper method. Instead, they're just paying people in-house to do it.
Yes.
So for example, with this company, our plan is to make it very intricate to the point where you can get clippers, but it's still in the way that doesn't destroy your brand for no reason.
Do you think Andrew Tate did this the same way? This is how he blew up, you think?
100%. I mean, he did the affiliate link for Hustlers University. Everybody was incentivized to make videos on Andrew so that they could make more money through the affiliate links. And that's how he blew up. But I think the problem Andrew came across was that he couldn't control what people were clipping. And therefore they started clipping really bad things that he was saying out of context, which kind of destroyed his brand, but also made him so big at the same time. So he got the best of both worlds in a sense. But I don't think that's the most ideal way to go about it. If you want to be the biggest, but the most hated, I think that's up to you. But personally, I don't think that's the way to go about it, especially if you're a good person, you know? You don't want to be looked at in a way that you're not.
Interesting. You are 17.
Yeah.
How is your day-to-day life? What do you do? What do you do for fun? You have friends. Are you tired? Are you excited? How?
Listen, I mean, I'm always stressed. That's the one thing. Always stressed from morning to night. My dreams include stress. But on a day-to-day basis, I don't really have a specific routine. I just wake up at around 10 or 11 a.m. usually because I sleep really late the night before. And I pretty much instantly get to work. I don't have some specific like things I do where I meditate or whatnot, even though that helps some people. Go straight to my computer. I start working, I film content, and I get on meetings. Those are the three biggest things I do. Film content, get on meetings, and then just work. So it's a pretty boring life, you could say, simply because that's the only way you're going to get anywhere. It's just by being boring and doing the boring things that you need to do.
So it's all basically online.
It's all online. I mean, I have some times where I'll need to fly to another country to meet someone in person because the meeting's a bit more important and it's involved something that's worth more money or whatnot. But usually on a day-to-day, it's just online meetings, working and just recording in my house. I go out to record, film vlogs, all that stuff.
And you stop being friends with people at your age?
Not at all. I think the big misconception is that if you make money and you're young, you have to cut off all your friends because you have to focus on what you need to focus on. But I think a very important part of my life that has kept me as a normal person is having friends that have nothing to do with business, have nothing to do with work, and the people I just grew up with since I was young. I think that's what's kept me very, very grounded and a normal person. A lot of people have business friends and people they can talk to on that level, but not on a personal level, which I don't think is the way to go about it because you need the people you can have fun with, laugh with about things that are unserious.
How often you see your friends?
Like 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
We live all pretty close to each other. We're in a small country. And so we see each other pretty often. But to be very honest, there are times where I just won't see anyone for like a month or I won't see anyone for 2 months. And it's just because I go through these periods, these stretches where I'm just really locked into what I have to do. And I don't really want to distract myself by getting out of like the zone. So I have periods. I'm very hardworking for like 2-3 weeks, hours and hours every day, not seeing anybody. And then there's more of a balance some other weeks where I'm enjoying time with my friends as well as working.
Do they see you in a different way? Do they see they're like, you're making like $200,000 a month? Like they are seeing you and they're like, oh, fuck.
Listen, I mean, I think they're motivated by what they see, but I don't think they act different around me. I don't think they're like different people. I know from experience that there are people who've acted different around me because of what I've done, but those are not my closest friends. Those are not my close circle of people. And that's why I keep my circle very small as well.
Can you explain? Because I always thought when I was 17, I was not as cool as you are, but I was asking other successful people to do a podcast with them and like they were accepting.
Yeah.
So I think being 17 and being young, it's a superpower that you can leverage to get in rooms that you were not going to get if you were 30, 40 and you are mature. Because people look at you and they want to help you. You are kind of the underdog. You are like a kid. So can you talk about these opportunities? And if
I agree with you. I think a lot of people look at me in a different way because I'm younger. They want to help me out. But on the other side, I think a lot of people disregard me because I'm younger. They don't respect the fact that I'm younger. They don't see me as much of an authority. So that's just something I have to deal with. And that also makes it so I have to work 2-3 times harder than anybody else. Even if I'm doing well now, I think I could do much better. And I honestly still feel like I'm behind. I told you this before. I still feel like I'm behind no matter what age I am. When I was 16, I felt it. Today, I feel it. And so, yes, there are people who want to talk to me and it makes it easier to get in better rooms because people are more intrigued at the fact that there's a 17-year-old doing what I'm doing. But it's harder to gain respect from people because I also look a bit younger than 17. I'm still 17 at the end of the day. That is my age. And so it's new to people. They don't understand how to calculate it, how to maneuver it, which is why I need to control it myself. I need to be working 5 times harder than everybody else so I can show them. I might be younger. I might not be as mature as you, and you might not respect me as much because I'm younger, but I'll just show you by the work that I do what I'm going to be able to get accomplished.
Yeah, kids out there watching this, you have a superpower. Also, you have a lot of downside, but always in life you have downside. So use it because you can only use the power of being young and to get in rooms and to leverage this to get access to people that you were not going to have. Use that now. Because
and I'm blessed because the only thing you can't buy is time. Elon Musk cannot buy my time. Jeff Bezos cannot buy the time that I have because it's the only thing that starts and ends. It's you're 1, you're 2, you're 18, you're 30, you're 40. So I know for a fact I have honestly the most priceless thing in the world right now, and that's time. And I also happen to be successful in my business. So I'm definitely taking advantage of my time. In like every minute of the day, I make sure it's calculated towards something that is effective, simply because I know in 5-10 years, I'm going to be like older and I'm not going to be able to buy back what I have now. So I definitely appreciate the fact that I'm young. And that's why I also say in my videos, because most of the people watching my videos are younger, because I'm younger, like I urge everybody to start now, because like I just told you, you can't buy your time back. So why not be successful and why not try to get ahead when you're younger instead of doing it when you're older? There's no point to wait later and later and later. Just start now because you're in the perfect position to, like, it's only today that you can start, you know?
you left school,
Yeah.
right? 2 years ago and a year ago?
A year and a half ago, I left school, yeah.
Okay, so do you feel very proud about that decision? You think if you stayed at school, was going to hold you back from your career?
I think staying at school would not have made me as successful as I am now, not only because I wouldn't have had the same time, but I think leaving school put the thing in my head that I need to burn the boats. And burning the boats is giving yourself no other option but to succeed. So if I had school right now, I would feel like I have a backup plan. And I'm not telling people to drop out of school because I honestly think looking back, what I did was pretty stupid. It's not a smart thing for a 15-year-old to do, especially considering that Snapchat died down 8 months after I left school, and I left school for Snapchat. But I'm happy that I did because it gave me no other option. Was I going to be someone who had no degree, no business, and 25, 30 trying to figure it out? Or was I going to be someone who left school and then made something of myself? So it gave me the burn the boats mentality, which I think is honestly a massive reason as to why I pivoted so quickly into something else that became so successful.
Well, we talked the previous time again about this, and it's about the school system. And I want to bring it up again because now I see it from a different perspective of a politician. And I feel like such a waste of opportunity, possibilities. Like if school could use you to do stuff, to express yourself in school, to build stuff, useful stuff for society. They can, and this is productive. This is good for the kids to build stuff that actually have value. So it's like, I had this conversation with my brother because he makes like $1,500 a month. Yeah. He wants to quit now school, and not once. He thinks about it. So I was telling him, maybe you are right because it's the opportunity cost. It's not. You like school, you can learn from school, but the opportunity of doing something else, like being, I don't know, with other YouTubers, doing this YouTube thing, scaling this, hiring, this was going to be like much, maybe more use because of his goals. He wants to make money and find himself and travel. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts also about this in the educational system, and the waste of energy in a way.
I definitely think that some parts of school are very useless. Because when I was leaving school or trying to leave school, the head teachers, the teachers, firstly, they never understood what I did when it was with my business. They never supported it. They wanted me to actually stop my business to stay in school, is what they told me. And I told them how much the business was doing at the time. It was multiple six figures in profit. And they still told me to leave and stay in school, which I don't agree with, but I do think school is very good for the social interactions, the people you meet. I think you can only make really good friends one time in your life or two times max. And one of those is in school when you're younger with the people that you grow up with, because there's no expectations when you meet these kids for the first time. If you're friends, it's because you actually like each other and there's no other reason. Then the second time is in business for the first time when you're coming up in business. That's the second time that you can really make your friends before you're successful when you're all coming up together. So I think school is very important for that. But I completely agree with you when you say a lot of the system is completely messed up. I think you're paying every year, if you're going to a private school, for schooling and books and taxis to go to school, cars, everything. And in return, you're made to be someone who's working at the bottom when you leave. Immediately, you're working at the bottom. And they don't support the dreams of kids like myself who told them all about what I wanted to accomplish, how I was doing. And all of them pretty much laughed at it. There was no well done, keep going, we believe in you. It was all just
But there is no infrastructure to support and explain. Maybe you can make classes to teach the other kids what you are doing, and you are going to be happy doing all this stuff. To use kind of what you have in the school.
I offered many times to do like little classes for business specifically, because the business that they teach us at school is all theory. It's not anything applicable. No one comes out of business school in high school knowing how to run a business. You have to start from scratch all over again. And the reason is because they're showing you what it says on books. They're teaching you how to run the numbers. They're teaching you how to engage with people, which is fine, but this is not things that's going to make you a millionaire, billionaire, whatever your ambitions are right after you leave. And that's why most people who leave school do not become successful. And when I mean successful, I purely mean money-wise. You can be successful with your family. That's also being a very rich person. You can be successful with your kids, with your friends. I'm just talking about money now. When people leave school, usually, unless they're very ambitious and go into bigger things, they don't end up succeeding in that venue. And that's simply because school doesn't prepare you to. I honestly don't think it's hard for school to prepare kids to be successful with money. I don't think so at all. I mean, I started when I was 12 and I first became successful when I was 15. So that's 3 years. I was in school for 8 years. If they only took 3 of those 8 years and taught me the same things I learned online privately, I can almost guarantee that a majority of the people would come out knowing a lot of things about business and about how to be successful in the real world.
And your education, it was basically YouTube, TikTok?
My education
what is it, your education?
My education was YouTube from the first things that I learned. It was building communities and friendships with people through platforms like Instagram and Twitter. That's where I met these community of video editors, people who did YouTube. So YouTube and Twitter are the two platforms I valued the most. And still to this day, I think YouTube is a great place to source knowledge, to understand what's going on in the world, and to also understand what you can accomplish. If I see someone being successful on YouTube showing video editing tutorials, that just shows me, oh, I can do this as well. I can make money with this. That's what I did. Someone was making videos about how to edit, and I started editing and I started making money, all from YouTube. And Twitter as well. I think especially Twitter now is really good to make really great connections. Billionaires are on Twitter. Millionaires are on Twitter, talking every single day and interacting, because it's a very good platform and it's a very private platform. You can message someone on your DMs. You can schedule a call with them. I mean, our mutual friend, I met him through Twitter. And since then, we've known each other for over a year. And I can probably say I've gotten more than $2-3 million of direct ROI from knowing him. And that's because of the motivation we've given each other, the kind of things we've talked about together, and that all came from Twitter. And so it's a little compounding effect of just being on social media that made me really successful. And I think if school just taught a little portion of that, then it would pay dividends for everyone in the program, in the education system. Social media is here to stay. It's how everyone's making money now. And if they're not making money through social media, they're advertising through social media. They're holding their websites on social media. So for a school not to teach at least the fundamentals of how to start a channel, or how to network with people, how to make people like you, how to be a person that can approach others and close a deal. These simple things that help you in business should be taught in school, because when you leave school and you know these things, you'll be able to get ahead. I know it for a fact because I did it.
Yeah, it's difficult though to put it on a system that millions of kids or hundreds of thousands of
It's
kids
not difficult.
learn.
It's not difficult because there will always be people who don't learn. It's just a numbers game. For example, in my program, we make a blueprint for people, and in every program, you make a blueprint for people. You help them in a certain curriculum manner, and then it's them to succeed by working hard on what you show them. If school made a curriculum around the right things to teach people, and people followed that curriculum properly, aka do their homework, for example, because they give you homework to do, it's part of the process, then you're going to become successful. And if you're not, it's just because you didn't do the work. That's it.
By the way, in our country, Cyprus is like a public school, and like a lot of public schools around the world, basically kids don't learn anything.
Yeah.
If you ask them, what do you learn in that school? Can you point out, oh, this. Everyone, when you ask them, they're saying it was this teacher that inspired me. It was my friends that made it happen. Very few people say, oh, I learned this about history and inspired me to. So anyway, the system is broken.
And it's because people are in school now to pass the time. They're waiting to leave school.
Yeah.
You come in school and you wait to leave. You're not there to learn. You're not there interested in anything.
And it's very hard to escape this because everyone is doing it. When everyone is doing it and you are 16, 15, 14, you don't have a choice.
I mean, I'm
basically.
looked at as the weird one for leaving school, and it's normal. It's because everyone does school. But look at where I am now simply because I put my focus into other things. And again, I'm going to say I'm not telling people to leave school because I don't think they should. I think school has a lot of great fundamentals. But I understand what you're saying, where it's like it's weird for people to leave because that's what's normal. And when I left, everyone looked at me in such an odd way and they thought he left school, that means he's going to fail. It's over for him. His life's over. It's what my parents thought. When I left school, they thought, oh, one of our kids, let's focus on the other ones now, probably. Like, I'm sure they had these thoughts in the back of their mind simply because any parent would. If I was in my parents' position, I would think the exact same thing. I'd be worried for them to come out of the normal system that everyone goes through because it's not normal. And people are scared of what they don't know. I was willing to take the risk of what I didn't know, and it paid off. Some people take the risk of what they don't know, and it doesn't pay off. So I think to solve that solution of seeing some people succeed, some people don't, is just plug it into school so that everybody has to go through it and everybody has a chance of being successful.
Why you have expensive watch?
I'm really into watches. Love my watches.
How much this worth?
I think this watch was $22,000.
Okay.
I have a collection of like 10, 15 watches, and they also hold their value very well, which is why I wear them. And I think people seeing me walk into a room with a nice watch adds a bit of class to myself and also adds a bit of respectability. If I was wearing an iced out watch with diamonds, I think I'd look a bit different. But one, it adds respect to myself. I think when I walk into like important rooms, it makes me feel more confident. Most importantly, I think when I feel confident, I act better, I make smarter decisions, and I'm also just a more honed in person. And they hold their value pretty nicely, and I love watches. So that's why I have a collection.
What other stuff you have apart from watches?
I don't really have much liquid apart from watches.
You are a Bitcoin guy?
I love crypto. Yes, that is true. So I have a lot of crypto. I have watches. I have investments, and then I have a lot of cash. So
Investments?
investments in companies, in the stock market, these types of things. I have a lot of cash sitting, and then crypto.
How much money you have, generally?
Liquid or
If you say net worth, maybe you are going to say a stake in Creo as well. So that
I won't mention net worth. I'd say liquid. I have solid 7 figures.
Solid a million and above.
Yeah.
Okay, so liquid.
In liquid, 1 million and above. I won't go into 1 to 10. I won't go in between what it is.
Okay.
But I have that.
What
liquid.
you are a good politician. Will make a good politician. Well, and how you plan to use all this money that you have? How do you spend it? Do you spend it just for fun? Do you go and have happy endings?
So is the question how I spend my money?
Yes.
All right.
Now I'm not sure if I can be making these jokes
Now
as a
you're gonna get
politician
cancelled, bro.
to a 17-year-old, but come on, guys. He's my friend. I'm allowed to make fun of him.
So the way I spend my money is usually just by figuring out.
That was an awkward silence. Okay, continue.
So the way I spend my money is usually just, I don't spend on lavish things. I'm going to buy a car this year, but that's the first really big purchase I have.
How much?
The car, I think it will be worth around $200,000. My watches, I don't feel like I'm spending money on them because I could sell them tomorrow for pretty much the same exact amount I bought them. And seeing as I buy 99% of my watches from the authorized dealer, which means the company directly, I usually have like a 10-20% markup the second I want to sell it. So I pretty much make profit on all of my watches. Because I buy it from the official company and I don't buy it from resellers. Because I have a relationship built with these companies like Rolex's, AP, Patek. So that helps a lot. Apart from that, I just use my money to grow everything I do. I don't think of margins and profit right now. All I think of is how am I going to grow my companies? How am I going to grow myself? And I just spend whatever I need to spend every day on doing that, whether it's hiring more team members for the operation, growing the creators we have under Creo, it doesn't matter. I don't think, oh, I'm operating on 40% margins now. I need to get that up to 60 because I'm 17. I'm very lean on costs. I don't have that much to spend. I don't have a massive family with a big mortgage. I can just go in and focus on growing everything. The only expenses I'll have within the next 2-3 months are my car or my apartment mainly, and that's about it.
Women in your life?
I don't have a girlfriend, no. I don't
Do
want
you speak with girls? Do the girls get attracted to you in your age about
listen,
because of the watch that you're wearing?
No, I don't think girls cares about watch actually. I've never had a girl care about a watch.
Come on,
I'm
man.
not even joking. That's
Really?
very true. Yeah.
Wow.
I've had yeah, no, I don't have a girlfriend, no.
So you're not interested into this aspect of life?
Listen, sometimes I am when I'm with my friends and stuff and we're with girls, but I don't actively like care about having a girlfriend right now, at least, because I can barely speak to my friends. Like I can barely text my friends back. I can barely have conversations with them, let alone having a girlfriend right now. I don't think it would be the smartest decision. I think I'd be doing a disservice to the girl and I'll be doing a disservice to myself.
So this is something that you consciously understand that it might hold you back from your career. So you are saying this is not a priority for me
It's
now?
not a priority right now. And even if I had a girlfriend, no one would know that I have a girlfriend. Because like I told you when I was with you,
And maybe he has now.
like I told you,
And maybe he has now, ladies and gentlemen.
I remember I told you a couple days ago, like keeping my private life really private and then the other part more out there. Yeah.
Well, hard to keep your private life very private when you are on social media.
It's very true, bro. I agree. I mean, there's people who've commented my address on my videos. So I agree with that. But you can do what you can. Like you can try your best to hide things. And I remember I told you a few days ago, I'm going to try to get this big, but not this big. And you told me, bro, if you're going to get big, you're going to get big. And there's no like in between.
Yeah, you cannot choose how big you are. Okay, I'm going to be this big with this many followers.
Yeah,
it's a byproduct of what you do, basically.
So I guess I don't really care. I'm just going to do it and then deal with the problems as they come.
Cyprus.
Yeah.
Why you chose this island? Because you told me that you are consciously choosing to make this island your base.
Yeah. So originally I thought I was going to move out of Cyprus and kind of explore into America, Dubai, these types of places. But after traveling for 2-3 years to these places,
and seeing Biden as the president, you got scared. I'm joking.
After traveling to these places and seeing like what they're like and the life around them, I think I much more enjoy having the base being Cyprus because it's a lot more peaceful. I can work much harder here because I have no distractions. And I don't know how to put this, but I feel like in these other big cities like Dubai and Miami, everyone's competing for who's the best and everyone's competing to be the biggest fish and everyone's competing and they have this constant thing in their heads about competition. And I think competition is great. And I do compete with a lot of people, my friends, my family, with whatever we do in business. But I think operating in a place like this that doesn't have that many distractions will ultimately put me ahead of everybody else because that's the way I work. I don't work well in environments where everybody has an ego and everybody is like talking shit behind the other's back. And that's how it is mostly in these big cities. No one has real friends. No one goes over to the other guy's house and they have nice conversations without there being something in the back of both of their heads. And I think in a place like Cyprus, I have the luxury of having that, you know? Like, for example, me and you going to your house when we were with our friend, it's just simple, nice conversations and we're not distracted by all this outside noise. And I also want to be close to my parents. So, yeah.
Okay. So you are going to make Cyprus your base and you're going to travel a couple of times.
Exactly. So I do travel like pretty much if you put it all together, I travel like 4 or 5 months out of the year. Every few weeks I travel maybe for a few days, sometimes longer. So I will 100% travel. That's what I do. I go out and travel to meet people, to be with friends, business. But in terms of every single day working out of somewhere, I think Cyprus is the ideal place. And there might be seasons where I go to another country for 2-3 months to work there. But on the regular basis, Cyprus, yeah.
You are welcome to come, guys, if you want. Cyprus is a very fun island, very peaceful, good food, good people. And we speak on good English in there, if you excuse me, with accent, but good English on average. So it's a good place to be. Also, we are in the European Union, which makes it easier and we access a lot of places. So it's not bad, and especially if you are born here and your parents, your friends are here. It's like kind of romantic for each romantic to stay in your place in a way.
I wouldn't say romantic, but I'd say like, I would say like, it's nice. It's nice to stay here.
Okay. Can you explain us kind of the state of social media now? It's like, what are the important platforms? How you should go about doing everything?
I think the 3 biggest platforms on social media right now for video creation is YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. That's where you want to be putting out your content. That's where you want to be showing the world who you are. The biggest platform for communication on a daily basis, where you can get the most effective updates on the world, where you can honestly make some of the best connections, are Twitter. And I'd say a close second is Instagram. And then in terms of how the world of video creation and content is right now, I think we're shifting back into authenticity. I think a lot of people want to know who you are as a person more now instead of the glamour and the money. And so that's why we're seeing a lot of success with people like Sam Sulek and these types of creators. And it's simply because people are tired of the facade of pretending to be someone you're not, because everyone is a person at the end of the day. Everyone goes through the same problems. And so they want to see other people going through those as well. And I've made a conscious effort in my videos to show people what it's actually like to do what I do. A lot of people could fake it and just show the yachts, whatever, the watches. But I think it's very important, one, for motivation and also for authenticity, to show people what it's actually like to work every day, to not have fun sometimes, to have fun other times. And someone who inspired me to do this a lot was my close friend, like Daniel Bitton. I'm not sure if you've seen him, but he's become very big now in the finance type of space, in the business space. And he's helped me a lot understand like authenticity, because that's everything his brand is around. He just documents himself running business, and it's him crying, him very happy, him sad, him worried. So that's someone that I've talked to a lot about how to execute on that vision.
Yeah, but a lot of the times you can lean into authenticity, but also it's like when you are authentic and not interesting, like is not everyone authenticity says
it's a word that people are using, and I actually talked about this before. So a lot of people saw what Sam Sulek did, for example, being authentic, and they thought, okay, now let me go make videos like Sam Sulek. But the reason, I'll give this as an example to what you just said, that Sam Sulek was so successful is because he's massive. He has massive muscles. He's an anomaly. You don't see people like Sam Sulek every day. And he happens to be attached by the authenticity. Talking about, for example, my friend Daniel that I just mentioned now. He runs a business doing millions a month. That isn't normal, but he attaches it with authenticity and it makes it interesting. So you attach things that aren't normal with authenticity, and a lot of things aren't normal. You could be a 15-year-old that's not in school. You could be a 15-year-old from a third world country that's making thousands a month. That isn't normal. So you just attach what's not normal to authenticity. And I think that's the key to being the biggest in that area.
Yeah, I think this is exactly what I'm trying to do with politics.
Exactly.
Because when you are that, now we're talking high level strategy of social media, guys, if you understand, like where, because there is, I cannot compete with Mr. Beast because I was trying to kind of I was a Mr. Beast. I was making fun of people. I was when they were asking me what you do on YouTube, I was saying I'm a Mr. Beast copycat. But I was trying to differentiate myself
100%
from Mr. Beast, but it was still the same thing. So I was playing still that game. But now, like being a politician and making all this short form and explaining how things were and showing my life on the European Parliament. So now it's like, is what you said. There is something very interesting, abnormal, and you attach authenticity and it's a great explosion.
100%. There's no one who's 24, 25 in the European Parliament documenting the back scenes like you are, and then doing it in an interesting way whilst talking about the goods and the bads. And so that is definitely the way.
A lot of the times people will not have, because they might be just regular on a lot of things. And that's where what you said before, find what you love, attach it with a bit self-awareness to understand.
It's a three-step thing. Like you said, find what you love, attach it with abnormality, something that you think you can separate yourself versus the competition. What is your edge? What is your competitive advantage? You attach that with what you love. And then the third thing is being authentic about the entire process. And I honestly think that's the recipe to success, I think.
Also, be a good understanding of social media.
But that comes with learning. I don't think you need to know that from day one. I think being authentic is showing that you don't know what you know starting, and then you eventually get better at it.
Okay, can you explain me a bit the process of learning, how you go about it, and how do you study your social and your analytics and what you pay attention?
Yeah.
Please. By the way, guys, I know all this stuff on high level. I know I'm a YouTuber. I have a lot of subscribers, but like when I speak with you, I love it because you bring a new, fresh perspective, because you learn so much new things every day. And I feel that I'm much older than you. And I'm like 5-6 years older than you, but because you are born in this stuff and you are such speaking with all these people. So tell us your perspective on how do you.
Yeah, I think social media, when starting it, if you're trying to be successful with it, should be seen as a marathon. There's this saying, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. And I think that's how you should see social media. You're going to go into social media not knowing anything. And that's how I went in. And the way I actively learned was by doing a few things. One, it was putting out broken videos at the beginning. You have to put out content. If you don't put out content, you have nothing to analyze, okay? So you have to start putting out content in the first place. And you put out content based on the 3 factors that we talked about before. Once you do that, let's say you're posting on YouTube, for example's sake, because I post on YouTube and I think that's something I can give the most insight to out of anything else. There's a couple things you look at on YouTube, and that's your thumbnail, your title, the retention of your video, and obviously the CTR, these 4 big things. And all that stuff comes down to market interest. If the market is interested in what you're going to put out, chances are it's going to do well. So I've talked about this before, where I said that if you make a video about a pencil and the video has 60% retention and 15% CTR, it is not going to do good just because of those stats, because the market interest in that pencil is very low. Whereas if I make a video about, let's say, airplanes, millions and millions of people are passionate about airplanes, study them, watch videos on them, and that has good statistics with the retention, the CTR, and all that stuff, chances are that is going to do well. So before you overanalyze and you give yourself analysis paralysis with the stats on the YouTube dashboard, you have to understand what the market wants, if it's going to be interested in what you're going to put out, and if there's a big ask for your type of content. In my example and in yours, we were making videos around very broad subjects that a lot of people like and that are interesting. But if me and you made videos around measuring tapes, you think people would have gotten really interested in those videos for those to get millions of views? No. So I think the core of YouTube and social media in general is understanding market interest and what a lot of people are willing to put their attention into. Once you have that, then you can take the steps into analyzing your dashboards on the back end with your statistics, with your retention and all that stuff.
And you can immediately see, for example, if you go to YouTube homepage and search topics like, airplanes, and you can see and understand and analyze how do they start their videos, is there a market for what thing exactly. I have. So it's like, it's an easy thing to start. The videos are there, they're search engines just based for you to find
I think videos. A lot of people mistake YouTube as a game of luck. And I don't think YouTube is a game of luck at all.
You need a bit of luck.
Listen, I don't believe in that for the only reason that I've succeeded in YouTube without my face. People could say I got lucky because of my face and I look young and I'm 17. But what can they say when I make a video about something that has nothing to do with me and I overanalyzed every single aspect of the video to make it perfect and it gets 1 million views? That's not luck. That's just knowing how to read the numbers and making the best video possible. And the way to get better at reading the numbers, making the best video possible, is by seeing what other people are doing. The successful people in your area. Like you just said, you go into their videos, you transcribe their videos, you download their scripts, you analyze the intros they're using. How are they talking about these subjects? What are the animations they're using on their videos to talk about certain things? What type of packaging do they use? Are their titles simple? Are they long? Are they like, what type of topics are they covering? All these things are right in front of you. I mean, everybody's making videos and some people are being successful at that type of stuff. So what's stopping you from analyzing how they're successful and copying it yourself? There's nothing stopping you.
You have a course teaching all this stuff, right?
YouTube Shorts specifically.
YouTube Shorts
without showing your face. So how to make faceless YouTube Shorts.
And are you successful on that? How much money are you making?
Yeah, that's what I was telling you before. Before Creo, I started doing YouTube Shorts. And I've scaled my channels to doing around $25,000 to $30,000 a month with YouTube Shorts. And so I still run those channels. And I've even, because a lot of people in the space, they say they do, but they don't actually do. And I was like, okay, what can I do to show people that I actually do? And so that they can't ask if I do anymore. So a couple months ago, I made a video on my YouTube channel of starting a YouTube Shorts channel from 0 and getting it to 100,000 subscribers. and I documented the entire process. And I got the channel to 100,000 subscribers in 36 days, and I made it $3,000 a month, all for the video, just to show that it was possible.
Wow, what a genius marketing kit. And now, wow. And now, are you going to tell us a bit more about the money, about your course, or you're not?
No, I can do that, yeah.
Yes.
So the course...
Please. We like money here.
Yeah, so the course is doing very well. We're doing multiple 6 figures a month, but the big thing with the course is not necessarily how much money the course makes. The course is a bigger play into the software companies and things that I own. So obviously I have Creo, which is a short form software company to help people make shorts easier. So the tactic here and what we want to do to help people and also grow the companies at the same time is by plugging our software companies into the program.
So built-in products for your customers,
exactly.
Basically.
So I know what my customers want because they're buying the program. So I'm incentivized for my customers to perform well. The reason I'm incentivized for them to perform well is because if they don't, they won't use the product I've presented to them. So usually courses, they just make you buy, they're not good, and then you never get your value, but you paid for it. I'm almost forced to make you succeed and try to make you as successful as possible, because if you're not, you'll stop using my product, aka my software company, and then I don't have a user anymore. So I think of my program as a school to teach people how to make money and how to run this business model so that they can use my product to do it. And therefore they get really good and my product grows. So the program is used as like a tool to get people in the door to using the product.
Okay, that's interesting. So you actually explain, I think very well, like the 2 aspects of the stuff. You said you are doing 3 things. You said Creo, software company. You said you own a course and you scale that. And also you said your personal brand.
Personal brand, and I also still run YouTube Shorts pages as well.
Okay. So you do 4 things.
4 things, yes.
Basically. Okay, that's interesting. But you explain how you run the YouTube Shorts. So let's go a bit to your personal brand. Teach us, beautiful friend, how do you build a personal brand in this time?
I think everybody has to have something about them if they're going to build a personal brand that is big. For me, it was that I was young and making money. For someone else, it might be that they're making an insane amount of money. And for another person, it could be documenting their journey from zero. The best way to build a personal brand is by almost showcasing everything that you go through on a daily basis, weekly basis. I post videos on Instagram. I post stories on Instagram. I post my life updates on Twitter. I make videos on YouTube. I document almost every process of everything I do on every platform I have. And because it's interesting, people like it. There are things that we do on the back end, for example, like the amount of videos we post, the strategy behind how we go viral, etc., which I can talk about. Some things we keep a bit more private so that other people that we're competing against, don't just steal the strategies and go for them. Because I have a team now of like 15 people, a lot of which are on full-time salaries and just this is their job. And some even with kids. So I take a lot of pride and responsibility in making sure that we're operating a massive mission so that they can succeed. I think with the team I have now, we have a very high chance, and I'm almost very confident that we are going to take over the space very soon with what we're doing. I think also my background in doing content, making videos helps a lot, but everyone on my team is in a mission. The mission is to become the biggest in the space. The mission is to make the biggest impact for teenagers and young adults that has ever been made, simply because I'm a teenager, I'm a young adult. I'm the people that they are, but just instead, I'm telling them how I did it. And so that is the mission with what we want to do. And the way we do it is by putting out more content than everyone does, being smarter than everyone does, simply because we have to work 2 times harder, like I told you before. I can't be as respected off the bat simply because I'm younger. So I just have to show it with my results. I just have to work harder. The team has to work harder. I have to train them better. Everything just has to be at 110%.
Okay, you explained us a bit how you build your personal brand. You document stuff and you upload your journey,
What
kind
type of
of.
specifics are you looking for?
But no, I want general, like, because you have such a different perspective about social media than most of the people, because you are, like we spoke about. Just tell us also, how do you build a brand?
Okay.
Like this is your job in your software company.
So
let's put the simple question: how do you build a brand of a company, of a personal brand, generally?
there's two things, and I'll go into those two things. One of them is showing and not telling, and goes with marketing as well. When we market with Creo, or when we market with my brand, the way you market the best is by showing people what you can do and not telling them, because people always don't believe what they hear. But if you show it to them in front of their face, that's almost always going to get them involved and interested in your mission, in your brand. So with my brand specifically, almost every aspect has been showing people. That's how we've built it so fast. It's because we've been showing people, look, I am successful because here are my pages. Here's the amount of money I'm making. The proof is right there. And showing social proof to people is what's going to get them almost instantly attached to your mission, because they see it right in front of their eyes. The other thing is being able to relate to the viewer. It's going to the level that the viewer is. So on my videos, for example, on the challenge that I just told you that I did, where I made a channel go from 0 to 100,000 subscribers, that video did really well, 400,000 or 500,000 views. And the reason it did that, and that helped the brand a lot, the reason that happened is because when I started that challenge, I was the same as all my viewers watching my videos. They're at 0, and they saw me at 0. The only difference is that I made it happen. By the end of the video, I was where they want to be. And this goes for any type of marketing. When we market for Creo, when we tell them to use our product, we tell them to use our product by showing them the success of people that use our product. Because if we just tell them, ooh, people make a lot of money by using Creo and it helps them a lot and it decreases the time, but without showing them any proof, they're not going to believe it. Why are they going to convert? There's nothing to back what we're saying. But we always make sure to show them examples of people that have decreased their time, that are making money because they use Creo, and all these different types of things. So building a brand means you have to relate to the people watching your videos, and that means coming to their level and showing them how to accomplish what you have, and then also showing and not telling.
Well, you're basically saying the exact same thing that Elon Musk is doing with his companies. He's basically finding interesting things about someone using Starlink, that they used it in a specific location in the mountains, and he's just reposting it.
Yeah.
So it's just showing how people use it and how people get.
He doesn't even need to say it himself. He doesn't need to create marketing schemes and marketing campaigns, because at the end of the day, if what you're saying is real, you can just show it. And he's showing it. I show it with my brand. Creo shows it. And it's just because what we do and what we say is fact.
Interesting. But to say something to push back on what you're saying, what about the Alex Harmozy way of putting ads and just optimizing and all this stuff?
Alex does that, but also what Alex preaches is to give value to people for absolutely free. All he does in his videos is post 30 to 40 minute clips of him just giving value, talking in seminars. And sure, he may sell off the back of it. He might sell books. He might sell like private mentorships, all these types of stuff, but he's still giving people value. He's still telling them everything he knows, because that's the way to get people in the door. You tell them information, you tell them value. And for Alex's case specifically, I know that I told you before, people don't always just listen, they want to be shown. But Alex already showed people that he knows what he's doing by running a company that's doing $100 million a year. So it's also a case-by-case basis. You can't really talk about things in a general way, because there's always exceptions to the rule. With Alex, he runs a $100 million company. Everyone knows he runs it. Everyone sees the numbers because he shows the numbers. And so he can get away with just optimizing and talking in his videos. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, but yes, I think you are right. Also, Alex Harmozy is doing what you're saying, to give value and just show exactly. It's not a marketing scheme. It's not something.
Everyone has to have funnels, optimizations, ads. These things are standard. What's really important is apart from...
Do you have a good understanding of all these things?
Yeah, I have pretty good marketing funnel. We have really good systems built out for our sales, for our program for Creo, email sequences.
Can you explain us a bit these tricks?
So I'll explain.
Don't worry, guys. I will extract all the knowledge of his brain for you guys. Don't
I can
worry.
explain to you how marketing works at a high level. So you want someone to buy what you want. And so there's a few ways you do that. It's either by giving them free value. It's by being so undeniable that they'll buy it from you, or it's by promoting it to them with ads. So let's say we go through an ads funnel, right? I'm paying to run ads for people like you, and I want you to buy software. I want you to buy my software. I make an ad that is interesting and that is going to attract people, and I pay to promote that ad. There's a certain percentage of people that are going to be interested, and they're going to convert, and they're going to pay for my product, and therefore they're going to be one of my customers. But where marketing becomes important is for the people that are not interested. So let's say you're not interested from my product, but I told you, listen, even if you don't buy my product, just sign up for my newsletter, sign up for my email list. You sign up for my email list, but you never bought my product. Now I've entered you into a funnel. I've entered you into a funnel that is eventually potentially going to turn into a customer of mine, because in my email list, I'm going to be giving you value. I'll be helping you. But one day I'll be like, hey, since you're on my email list and I know you didn't purchase this a while ago, I'll give it to you for 50% off. And you'll buy it potentially. And if you don't, there creates another funnel. So the way funnels and getting people to buy something works is by sending them through sequences of things that they want. So if you want to learn how to make money on YouTube, but you don't want to buy a program, I can just invite you to join a free community of people that you don't have to pay that will help you. And you learn how to do YouTube, you become better. And eventually, as you get better, you then buy the program. So there's a whole psychology to ads and funneling and emails and all these types of things, which there are people way better than me for you to explain. But the way I can recap it is that the whole goal in this whole system is to get someone to convert at the end of the day, to buy what you want them to buy. And the way to do that, like I started off with, is by giving them either free value, promoting it to them, or they don't buy in the first place, and you eventually 6 months down the line, 1 year down the line, get them to end up buying. There's so many systems that I have in place personally for my program and for Creo that I honestly, we'd be here for 4 or 5 hours explaining. And one of them I also previously explained with Creo and my program. It's a funnel. They come into my program and they go into Creo. I'm getting them through one door to get them into the next. And to get them into the next, I have to help them with the first door. And so, like I said, I could go into this for so much deeper. And there's people that are paid millions of dollars a month to do this. People on my team are paid $50,000+ a month to do this job alone, to handle funnels, to handle all this market research with how to get people to get attracted to your brand, to buy your things, etc. But it's all about human psychology at the end of the day. It all comes down to human psychology. Can you get someone to like you enough or to find you valuable enough to learn from you? And I buy things all the time, actually. I buy mentorships from people. I buy consulting calls with people. I always convert into these paid things because at my level, I also think there's so much more to learn. And so I'll just buy mentorships. I'll buy courses. Even if I don't watch the whole thing, I learn. I can pay $5,000 for a course and maybe 90% of it doesn't help me and I already knew, but 10% I learned from, and that 10% makes me $10,000 back. So I personally invest a lot into learning from people because I think it's very valuable. And seeing as you can't go now and buy a high school course that's going to teach you how to make money online or how to make money in general, I think this is the next best alternative.
You are 17.
Yep.
And you have people that have families and kids in your team.
Yep.
How is the interaction between you and them, and how do you feel about this?
Everyone that's on my team is my friend. No matter what their age is, how old they are, how young they are, the interaction is always good. And it's for the simple fact that I don't hire people that I don't get along with, that isn't my friend, that I don't think I could sit down like this and have a conversation with. And we're in a new space now. We're in a modern age where this is just how things are. Younger people are CEOs. Older people are also CEOs. But there's no one size fits all anymore. You're not just going to see 60-year-old billionaires. You're going to see 20-year-old billionaires soon. And so people are used to it now, especially in the space that we're in. Video editors, designers, everyone's used to it because it's how the world is moving. And if you have to adapt, you have to adapt. So all my team members are completely fine with my age. And it's also because I don't act like a 17-year-old. When I talk to these people, I treat them with respect because they deserve respect. I'm also very responsible for paying them what I need to pay them. So I have to work hard to pay them or else I can't. So let's say they were employed by a 14-year-old who was immature and didn't know how to act and didn't know how to be respectful. It would be a completely different situation. But I treat everyone with respect. I give them bonuses. I pay them very well because they're very good at their job. And so they have no reason to think of me any different way apart from any other person who would do the same, who's 30 or 40, because I act in the exact same manner. I do everything that person would. And I'd even say I do it better because I'm younger and I understand how it is to be treated poorly as a younger person. So I don't want to do the same for anyone else. I treat them with extra respect.
Okay, but all your team is online now, right?
All my team is online. And eventually I'll move some people in person as the brand gets bigger and as I get older. But for now, I think we work well online and we do meet up all the time. I travel to places to meet up with them. But on a day-to-day basis, we work through online matters, yeah.
Interesting. What are your goals? What you are going to expect for you in the future?
I have one big goal and then I'll go to my smaller goals later. My one big goal is to honestly just, when people think of someone who inspired the younger people to be successful, they think of my name. Like when you think of certain things, sometimes they're attached to certain people. And I want this specific thing to be attached to me. I want people to think of who is the guy that maybe changed the way that 15, 16, 17-year-olds, 20-year-olds now think. Because right now, kids are still expected to focus on school until they're 20. But who can be the person who changes that? I want to be the first name that comes to mind. So that's my biggest goal. The next goal is to honestly just become the most successful at every single age I am. When I'm 17, I want to be the most successful 17-year-old. When I'm 18, I want to be the most successful 18-year-old. And I want to do that for pretty much every single year.
Until you become 100?
Until I become 100, bro. Every single year, I just want to be the best in that category because I have this, I just have this thing where I always feel like I'm behind. And I think that's the only thing that's going to keep me pushing. So those are my two goals. And apart from that, there's obviously the small things like I'll have a family one day and treat everyone with respect, be nice to people. These are general goals and things that you do. But yeah, those are my goals.
So to summarize your goals, you want to teach the younger generation the stuff that you learn and you feel a lot happier and business-wise and about money and all this stuff, which I think is very interesting that you were explaining this because you said it before as well, that all these people watching you, they feel very relatable to you because you're just a kid like them. So it's like you have a superpower.
I remember watching people when I was 15, when I was 14. I was behind the camera and I was on YouTube watching the podcast. So I know exactly how they feel, which is why my mission is to put them in the position that I'm in, or even better. And even if it's not the position I'm in, I don't want to promise people that everyone's going to be a billionaire because it's just not true. But at least I want them to understand what it feels like to have that first moment of success like I did, to be happy about your business succeeding like I did. It doesn't matter at what level it is, your first $1,000 a month, $10,000 a month.
And you are talking purely financial.
No, it doesn't need to be financial. I told you this before. I think success is not just money.
No, but you teaching people. You want
For
to
now-
teach people about financial success.
For now, the biggest thing I've had success in is business. I don't have a family, so I can't say I'm a successful father yet. I can't say I'm a successful husband yet, or any of that stuff. The only thing I've been very successful at so far is business. But let's say in 2-3 years, well, not 2-3 years, but in 10 years, when I'm a successful father, successful husband, I have a good family, or let's say I'm a very good philanthropist, then I'll start teaching that things. I'll start teaching how to do it as well. I'll start telling people what you need to do. I'll start talking about it, being authentic about it. But you can only talk about what you know, and you can only talk about what you're very good at. I think it would be bad for me to give people advice on relationships. I think it would be bad for me to give people advice on anything that I don't have experience in, because they're going to take that advice because I have a voice now, because I have subscribers and I've grown my brand. So because I have a voice, I have a very big responsibility to not use that voice and give people advice that isn't good. And so I'm very careful with what I talk about, and I'm very careful to only talk about the things that I'm good at. And when I become better at more things, I'll talk about them.
Okay. And the second thing you said, you want one of your goals is to become the best at everything you do.
Yeah. And I don't think I'm the best yet at everything I do. So, and I don't think I'll ever think I'm the best, but I think there will be a point where I know I'm up there. So my goal is to be the best at everything I do, yes. And that could be a never-ending goal, but that just makes it so that I always have a goal to look up to. You don't want goals that are easily achievable, or else your discipline and motivation just fades away. So if I'm never the best, then I always have something to look up to.
So you are scared about your future? You are excited? What words you're going to use to describe how do you feel about your future?
I can never be scared, but I am definitely looking forward for what's to come. I think compared to I was last year versus now, I'm honestly a completely different person. I didn't expect, honestly, anything I'm doing now.
In a good way.
In a very good way. I didn't think I was going to start a software company. I didn't think I was going to grow as fast as I have in every avenue. And so in 10 years, I don't really like that question, because I don't want to set a limit. I don't want to do that. I just want to see what happens, because I think amazing things can happen far more than I can even believe, bro. Far more than I can believe.
And we were talking about this together last day. Our imagination is our limit.
Exactly. And so if you don't set a cap on what you can imagine for yourself, then you have no limit.
And are you afraid of death? You don't think about death, right? I was in the hospital yesterday, and the father of my girlfriend, the doctors came and told, I was in front, and the doctors came and told him, you are going to go into a surgery now and you have 50% chance of dying. So it was a daily thing that I was going by my day, and we don't think about death all the time, but there is always a possibility.
You know, it's very interesting that you brought up death, because for the past 2 months, I've been thinking about death a lot.
Wow. Okay.
For some weird reason, I've been thinking about death a lot, because I've talked to a lot of people, and a lot of people tell me they're not scared of death.
By the way, guys, sorry for interrupting. The father of my girlfriend is as well.
Perfect. But a lot of people I've talked to said you should not be scared of death. Whatever happens, happens. And other people I talk to are very scared of it, and they want to maximize everything they have now. So I've been thinking about death, and if I am okay with death and all these things. And I think I've come to the conclusion where it just is what it is. The only thing you're guaranteed in life is life, death, and taxes. So
taxes, not everywhere.
So you just can't do anything about it. It is literally completely out of your control. The only thing you can do is prolong your life for however long you physically can, because everyone will die one day. But you can prolong your life with your health, with your happiness, because I know happiness has a lot to do with how long you live. Stress levels have a lot to do with how long you live, the food you put in your body. All these little things make a big difference. So all that I can do is focus on what's my sphere of influence. If I can't have a piece of influence around it, why should I worry about it? If it's not in my sphere of influence, I have no control over the matter. Therefore, I should not worry about the matter. And it's that simple. I think a lot of people overanalyze things that they can't control, and that sends them into very dark places because it's so easy to analyze things to extreme lengths. But if you have no control over it, just focus on what you can do, which now I've come to terms with. And so I'm not worried about death. I'm not scared of it because God has a plan for when I die, and it's that simple.
Yeah, but we go to all our life and we don't think about that. Maybe other people think, but it's just a moment and everything is gone.
It's a moment,
and it's like it's crazy.
One of the days of the 12 months is your death date. So you never know. You're passing through that day every year, actually.
Okay, that's interesting.
So you never know.
So another question, which I'm interested to hear your perspective, is I give you $1 trillion. How do you spend it to help this planet?
To help the planet. I'm not sure where I got the number from, but I think solving world hunger is not that expensive compared to $1 trillion. So that's definitely the first thing I'd do. I think that would solve a lot of problems, actually, because a lot of problems come out of poverty. People who are upset of the position that they're in, and they rebel or they try to fix a situation, and that causes a lot of things in the world. So I'd solve poverty and world hunger with the trillion. And I don't know exactly what I'd have left, but it's hard for me to give you that answer because I think every person is flawed, and I wouldn't know who's the right person to help me distribute it, because I don't think I'm fit to distribute $1 trillion to the world and decide how the world works. But I know there might be someone who is most fit. I just don't know who that person is because everyone has underlying intentions. And so I would never trust like government. I'd never trust any of these people to handle that because they already do handle that. And look at where the world is. But
the Matrix.
I'd find a good group of people who I trust to help me distribute it in the way that they and I see fit. I don't think there's a perfect answer to the question. I think the answer is based on what you believe. Do you believe that poverty should be fixed? Do you believe in these things? Because some people might have the argument of without poverty, there is no rich. And so everyone's the same. And do people want everyone to be the same? Someone could make that argument. Someone could make another argument. So there is no one answer to this question, but it's a very interesting question. I think I'll think of this and I'll text you the answer as well when I finally come to its
maybe
conclusion.
In the future podcast that we're going to do.
Yep.
Maybe it's interesting to keep track of your progress.
Yeah, I think also this is exactly why I wanted to come on this podcast. I told you this, but I've gotten like a lot of podcast offers this past year as I've gotten bigger, and I've declined almost every one because I knew, I'm about to release this business and I don't want to talk on a podcast before I release this business. And now I think I'm at a point where I'm going on like a little 3-4 podcast run. I'm giving my story. People are going to ask me different questions. And then I'm not going to go on any podcast. I'm going to live my life. We're going to see what's going to happen in a year. Because like I told you a year ago, if you had gotten me, which you did on a podcast a year ago, I'm a different person. Different stories, different way of thinking, different business. So we're doing this now. I'm not going to do any podcast for a year, however long. And then next year, I'll come again and I'll have maybe a completely new outlook on life and new stories to share.
Yeah, and we can look back and see the evolution of you. And it's going to be interesting, guys, to keep up, check his progress in life and what he's doing.
I agree.
Well, it was a pleasure. I love you. And thank you guys for watching until the end. Do you have anything last to say?
Stay disciplined.
Stay disciplined. No, I will. You answered this another one time, right? I asked you if you are going to die in 30 seconds, what you will do. Did you answer the previous time?
I did, but I don't remember what I said.
Okay, do you want to answer it again? You are going to die in 30 seconds. Please tell me what is your last words in this planet.
Everything is possible no matter where you're from, no matter what your surroundings are. All you have to do is put your head down and don't listen to outside noise. That's it. Last message.
Thank you, Daniel. We love you guys for watching. Bye-bye.